Hello everyone, Josh here with Anime Impact, bringing you guys some more dueling news, and this is some huge news. This is game breaking, not meta changing, game breaking, beyond meta. This is completely making the fabric of the game itself flip on its head. Everything that you knew is no more. Everything has just went out the window. It's crazy. Konami grew some balls and did something unparalleled to what they've ever done before in the game when it comes to making big changes that reflect the entire game. The overall scope of the player base is probably on one side or the other of the fence of do they like these changes or not. I, for one, like most of these changes. Now, when I say most, there are some things that I could nitpick or I'm very upset about, but for the majority of the player base, I think we all need to just accept these changes were going to come. I've been saying it in various rant videos in the past. I've been saying it in various videos recently here on the channel that these changes were probably going to happen, and everybody argued with me. They complained. They told me I was crazy. Well, they're here, like I told you. Now, let's go ahead and talk about them. Let's go to the news. Forbidden and limited list and skill balance. June 18th, 2018. That is for the skill rebalancing. This has nothing to do with the limited list or forbidden list. It's just the skill rebalancing. This will be happening in 6 days. So actually pretty quick compared to what they usually do. They usually take a whole month. While the next changes for the actual forbidden list and limited list will be taking place on June 26th. So still in the same month, about 14 days from now, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. They usually take over 30 days to do these changes. So kudos to them for making it about, what, 2 weeks or so. Changes made to skills effect will be applied to both PvP and PvE. Now, the whole thing with them reflecting PvE, they need to stop doing that. I hate when they do that. They need to leave PvE alone. But, I mean, I've already made rants about that, so I'm not going to go into it again. When updating to version 2.8, which will become available sometime between June 17, 2018 and June 20th, 2018, which basically means that if you're on PC, like me, you will not see these changes probably till the 20th, so keep that in mind. Updating to version 2.8 is planned to become mandatory on June 26th. So, I take that back. If you're a PC player, none of these changes will probably even reflect you till the 26th. Because Konami's dumbasses don't understand that they need to just force an update on all of their platforms the day that the update comes out. Like every other game on the planet. So, there's a little rant for you guys. Like, oh my god, what the fuck. June 26, 2018. Please check the details of the Forbidden Limited List implementations below. See below for the Forbidden Limited List. So, here's the big changes. Let's go over the skill rebalancing first. Alright. So, the skills being rebalanced here. So we got Dragonic Fusion. We have added an additional effect to the skill, as simply adding Dragon's Mirror to the deck does not create new strategies. Sealed Tombs. This skill is meant to reflect Ishizu's duty as a Gravekeeper, so we have made it more powerful. Oh, Nani. Harpy's Last Will. We have made this skill easier to use, but have added a limit to the number of times it can be used. We got Pothemus Army. Pothemius Army, whatever it was fucking called. I had the name down before, and then I haven't used it so long I forgot. We have made this skill easier to use so that it can be taken advantage of in zombie-type decks, which is kind of funny because, spoiler alert if you guys don't know already, Red Eye's Spirit is coming back. And what is Red Eye's Spirit usually used in? Red Eye zombie deck. So, coincidence? Probably. Harpy's Last Will getting a boost with the new rumored box coming that could feature Winged Beast, possibly? Coincidence? Nah. Come on now. You know they're doing this shit on purpose. Duel Standby. The skill was deemed to be too powerful. We have added a limitation so it does not cause the duel to end in one turn. Konami, it took you almost 2 years to figure that out. Restart. This skill has become more and more dominant as powerful new combos are discovered, so we have added a negative effect, which I already read it before this video, and trust me, it is good. Balance. This skill was the second most used skill next to Restart and was highly versatile, so we've added an additional condition to weaken its versatility. Actually, what Konami doesn't realize is I've already read the changes for that skill. The changes that they made for that skill actually have now made it easier because there's always been a lot of debate and argument over exactly what kind of formula you have to do to make balance work properly. And they kind of just like gave us the formula we needed. So thanks, Konami. You actually made balance probably better for a lot of us because now we know exactly what kind of ratio to put into the deck to make balance, to take advantage of balance. Thank you. Thank you. Grit was nerfed. Thank. Well, it was kind of like a semi-limited nerf. It was kind of like a mind scan type of nerf, really. It's like it's nerfed if the situation presents itself, basically. But yeah, it's gonna be nerfed. The skill is being used often with high win ratios, so we've added a limit to the number of times it activates and have removed the random elements to make it more predictable. Ojamago, Destiny Draw, and Extra. We have added a limit to the number of times these skills can cause duels to drag out. Well, no kidding, Konami. We have so many duels where we're going to turn 50. And I knew it, guys. I blame so many big people that had to start using my baby, Extra, and turn it into something amazing when I already knew that it was amazing back in the day when I started using it over a year ago when nobody gave it a chance and I made it meta for myself personally. And now it's going to get hit. So, damn it. I lost my baby. I lost my baby. But, yeah, so Destiny Draw, Ojamago, and Extra are all getting hit. And Destiny Draw is getting hit for the second time. Stall decks no more, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, updated skills. Dragonic Fusion. Now, what is going to be added to this? At the beginning of the duel, add Dragon's Mirror to your deck and shuffle it. Then add 5-headed dragon to your extra deck. Can be used when your life points decrease by 1,800. Instead of conducting your normal draw, Dragon's Mirror is added to your hand from your deck. This skill can only be used once per duel. So, it could be, I mean, now, you know, they add it to your deck, so it's always randomized. But now you can just grab Dragon's Mirror when you want it, when you activate the skill. So, I mean, it's cool. It's a gimmick deck. It's a fun deck. It'll never probably be meta, but it's fun nonetheless. Maybe if we get some better fusion dragons, possibly. I don't know. We'll see. Sealed Tombs. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, neither player can banish cards from the graveyard or special summon monsters from the graveyard. Now, okay. So basically, they're just, okay. I think the skills nerf came a little bit too late. Like, it can only be used once per duel. So until the end of your opponent's next turn, neither player can banish cards from the graveyard or special summon monsters from the graveyard. Okay. So this basically just buys you a turn, literally one of your opponent's turns. They just can't do nothing for a turn. So if you're running against a deck that has that as mostly their gimmick for their deck, like a Sylvan deck, pre-nerf Sylvans, spoiler alert, then this would have worked really well. But unfortunately, I don't know. We'll see we'll see what it looks like in the current meta after all these crazy changes happen and what the new mini box brings us. But it could be a useful skill. It could be. We'll see. Definitely, since Red Eyes is going to be nearly at full power again, you might see some play with Sealed Tombs. We'll see. We'll see. Even though we're not getting Chance Vigilance back, Konami, you bastards, ruining my Blue Eyes farm deck. But that's another story for another day. All right, Harpy's Last Will can be used by banishing 5 Harpy cards from your graveyard. Add 1 Harpy's Feather Duster to your hand from outside of your deck. This skill can only be used once per turn. So it can be used by banishing 5 Harpies cards. Now, that's still not going to be easy to pull off. That's still not going to be early game, unless maybe if you run Grass is Greener. You can run... Is that going to be a thing? Harpy's Last Will, Grass is Greener Harpies? Nani? Could that be a thing? Stay tuned. We'll see if we get any good new Harpy support in the new rumored box that's coming called Wings of Crush, which I hope we're not getting Crush cards, but yeah, we might. We might. But we'll see. We'll see what the new box set brings. As soon as I get more leaked information, I'll bring that to you guys. Don't worry. All right, so Army can be used each time your life points increase by 1,000. All monsters on the field and monsters in both players' graveyards become zombie-type monsters till the end of the opponent's next turn. Oh, to the end of your opponent's turn, sorry. It wasn't really used all that often the first time around. Just taking an additional 1,000 life points away to activate skill I don't think it's going to really change much, but we'll see. We'll see. It could be useful if you're running a Red Eye Zombie, though. You know, since we are going to have 3 spirits again, spoiler alert. You'll be able to take one of your opponent's monsters and steal it. You can also use some other various zombies that have the effect of actually special summoning a zombie from the grave. You can take advantage of that as well to kind of load up your field. I mean, it could see some play. We'll see. We'll see. Like I said, it's all going to depend on what all these new changes are going to offer and what the new box set and new structure deck are going to bring to the meta and what kind of counters we're going to have to make for it. So everyone's going to have to be in adapt mode at the moment. So we'll see what happens. All right, so dual standby. Each player's starting hand increases by 1 card. You cannot activate spell, trap cards, or monster effects on your first turn. Sorry about that, guys. Restart. So dual standby, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, you can't use your spell or trap cards or monster effects on your first turn. It's fine, but here's the problem. The way dual standby has been working in the recent meta that we've had now with like Silent Swordsman, that's not going to do anything to that deck. What they should have did is dual standby. You get to select, for example, your opponent gets to start with 1 card. Actually, I don't even know where I was going with that. I had an idea and I just lost it. Dual standby is really hard to nerf. I mean, because the way they nerfed it, that would have worked way back in the day. That would have worked way back in old Taya Burn meta days, where they could just kill you with effects from, you know, your starting hand, and you didn't even have to wait. You didn't have to do any battle or anything, so you didn't have to wait till another turn to win. You could just win before your opponent even has a chance to take a turn. But now the way dual standby is working, it won't work. You know, nobody's running a deck like that. People are running decks that they're trying to win on their next turn. They're hoping that they don't get OTK'd so they can OTK you with like Silent Swordsman or whatever. But I guess it's a good failsafe in case we start getting more spell or trap or monster effects that could kill you on turn 1 before you even get to take your turn. So, I mean, I guess it's a good failsafe for the future. I guess it's future-proof. So, I mean, that's good, I guess. That's good. I can accept that for a dual standby nerf. I was trying to think maybe a better way to do it, but I was like, I had a thought and I lost it, so maybe we'll come back to it later. Restart. Can only be used once after starting hands are dealt. Reveal and redraw your starting hand. Your first draw will be skipped if you use a skill. Now, that is big. You get it, basically, you take a mulligan your next turn. You don't get the draw if you use restart. So that might deter a lot of people from wanting to use restart. And they might want to, you know, go to possibly balance or something else at that point. Man, that is a big hit. That's a big hit for restart. I like it. Very ballsy move going on me. I like it. Balance. This is what I was talking about, balance. Your starting hand will reflect the card balance of your deck. This skill will not activate unless you have at least 6 of each type of card, monster, spell, and trap in your deck. They basically just gave us the recipe that we need to better get balance off. Thank you, Konami. So, you know, hey, 6, 6, and 6, man. The devil's number. So I guess if you run balance, you got to be the devil because you got to run 6 of everything. But that's only going to be 18 cards, so you only need to make up for 2 more. So you either can run 7 monsters or 7 traps or 7 spells of each, and you're set. And then you run 6 of the last one. Simple. So if you're running like Noble Knights right now, you could run 6 monsters, 8 spells, and 6 traps? Something like that. There you go. Or you can run 7 traps, 7 spells. Or you can, you know, you could run, I don't know. Any kind of combination like that you guys want to come up with. I mean, but they basically give you the recipe right there. You need at least 6 of each. And then you need to make up the last 2 and however you want to. So, there you go. That's balance for you guys. Grit. If you had 4,000 or more life points at the start of that turn, your life points will not fall below 1 for 1 time only. This skill will only activate once per turn. Now, this is huge because what's huge about this is you can actually just do any kind of damage. Just do 1 life point of damage to your opponent. And if they're at 3,999, they can now be OTK'd because that grit will not activate. There is no chance or RNG to favor these players in hopes that, you know, grit will activate. It will no longer activate if you do not have 4,000 or more life points for the turn that you're being damaged. It will not happen. Now, This also makes some interesting developments for Grit because now players could possibly run in life point regen. Like, they could run Rain of Mercy, they could run Dianquieto, they can run, really anything that gives them any kind of life points right now, like Draining Shields. They could do stuff like that, or Goblin Thief. They could do anything like that that can get their life points over that 4,000, and they'll know 100% guaranteed that they will survive an OTK that turn. So, I mean, that's some interesting things we might see now with Grit because of that. But I think it works well for both sides of the fence. For people who now know how Grit will operate without the chance factor being involved. So that'd be good. Ojama Go, it's basically the same as it was before, except now you can only use a skill once per duel. That skill is now dead. I'm sorry. They killed it. Destiny Draw only being used once per duel. I don't know if it'll necessarily kill that skill, but wow, does it hit it hard. It hits it hard. Ojama's Go is dead. I'm sorry. That skill died. They just killed it. It's gone. Extra, dead. They killed it. They killed my baby. Destiny Draw, the only reason I say that it may not be dead because it has a similar limitation is because it lets you search any card in your entire deck that you may need. And for a game where you need a good top deck to possibly come back, the skill will still get the job done for you. But I feel like it really got hit hard. I don't know how many people really use it. And stall decks are now dead. Like, they killed stall decks. Mill decks are still maybe alive, but I think stall decks are dead. Dead. They just killed the 3 skills that you'd usually associate with a stall deck. They killed it. Wow. My baby extra is now dead. They killed my baby. That's unfortunate. So, wow. Wow. And that is all the skill changes. So, wow. Big changes. Big skill changes coming to Duel Links. Like, oh my god. Now, here are the new Forbidden Limited List changes. Now, I need to tell you guys something real quick. A lot of people are getting confused. Everybody wants to keep comparing this game to the TCG. Well, they need to stop doing that. And for one big reason is when they say it's limited or semi-limited in Duel Links, if it's limited, that means you can only run one limited card in your entire deck. One. If it is semi-limited, you can only run 2 semi-limited cards in your entire deck. That doesn't mean you can run 2 of each. That means you can only run 1 of each if you're running 2 separate semi-limited cards. And if it's a limited card, you can't run 1 limited card and another 1 limited card. No, you can only run 1 in the entire deck. So, for example, if you're a Cyber Angel player and you ran Machine Angel Ritual, which was semi-limited to 2, and you ran Dakini, which was semi-limited to 2, you can only run 1 of each or 2 of one and 0 of the other. That's how it works in Duel Links. So, yeah, when you see something that's semi-limited and you see another card that's semi-limited and they both go in the same deck, well, guess what? You got to pick and choose. You want to run 2 of one or 1 of each. That's it. Massive Morph. Another reason extra is basically dead at this point. Massive Morph just got limited to 1. You can only run 1 Massive Morph in the entire deck. Deck is dead. Gone. They killed it. Semi-limited. Only 2 cards from the semi-limited can be... Blah, blah, blah. That's what I just told you guys. So, Secret Pass to the Treasure, that was kind of a pointless nerf. They might as well just limit it to 1, honestly, because you're never going to use more than 1, even for farming. But, yeah, they put it to 2. And they put Assault Armor to 2. And that's kind of funny, because most people are only running 1 of each anyway. But, hey. Who cares? They did not hit the right card. Silent Sword Slash probably would have been the card that they wanted to hit there, but whatever. Enemy Controller. Everybody argued with me time and time again, telling me they will never nerf Enemy Controller. And I've been telling you guys for the past 2 months, they need to nerf Enemy Controller. Econ Take Plays are too ridiculous. They're too strong in a 4K meta. And nobody listened. And guess what? At least Konami listened. And I know a lot of you out there are actually supporting and fans of this decision for them to actually hit Enemy Controller. It's too easy of a card to attain. There's a million ways in the game to get 3 of these easily. The only thing I'm mad about is now I can only run 2 of my Prismatics instead of 3 for my farm decks with Cerberus. But nonetheless, I think it's a decision that needs to be made, and I'm glad they had the balls to do it. So Enemy Controller is now semi-limited to 2. Cup of Ace. We are semi-limiting this card to prevent duels from taking too long. Also, another thing with enemy controller, what it's mostly used in deck or in games with now, it's being mostly used in Anki decks right now, and enemy controllers also being used heavily in Amazonas. Amazonas Onslaught, spoiler alert, we'll be getting to that, also got hit. So guess what that means? You either can run 2 Onslaught, no enemy controller, or 1 enemy controller and 1 Onslaught. Now, what do you think most people are going to be deciding? They're going to run 2 Onslaughts. So guess what? Enemy controller is now abolished from Amazonas decks. Same thing for Anki, where Celestial, another spoiler alert, I'm doing a lot of spoiler alerts today, Celestial also got hit. So that means you can only run 1 Celestial, 1 Econ, or no Econ and 2 Celestial. So you got to pick and choose there, guys. They really destroyed the meta. Cup of Ace. Finally a card that needed hit a long time ago. It's finally getting himited. Himited. I'm making up words here. Limited. Hero Shadow Scout even got hit. So Warm Worms so far seems to be the only one that survived from the mill meta. Hero Shadow Scout, that's awesome. Rose Lover got hit, and so did Sylvan Marshleaf. Praise beeth the gods of Duel Links. Finally, the time has come. Rose Lover, your days are numbered. Alright, so now this is a big decision for Sylvan players. Do you run 2 Sylvan Marshleafs, no Rose Lover? Do you run 2 Rose Lover, no Sylvan Marshleaf? Or do you run 1 of each? Either way, you have a tough decision to make. Honestly, I think a lot of people might just go with the 2 Rose Lovers to get their big beat sticks out. Because honestly, that's all Sylvans have now. That's it. They're still going to have their Coma Shroomo for possible back row destruction. But, wow, they took a big hit, and I'm glad they did. And again, we already talked about Onslaught got hit. So, you know, for those of you who like to run Econ and Onslaughts together, well, that's probably not going to happen anymore. Cyber Petite Angel got hit for some weird reason. I didn't even know Cyber Angels were even really a big thing anymore, but I guess they were future-proof in that. Maybe they want to bring, maybe they're really trying to give us that 1 copy of Natasha that they were supposed to give us at level 45 that was rumored, but they changed it to Swing of Memories instead. So maybe they are going to try and eventually give us Natasha. And to give us Natasha, they have to heavily nerf Cyber Angels. Because Natasha, if none of you are familiar, Cyber Angel Natasha is broken beyond belief. It's more devastating than anything we've already had in Cyber Angels. I mean, that card by itself is a game changer for that deck. So maybe they are trying to give us at least 1 copy of that. And to do so, they got to keep nerfing other cards in the deck. But man, Cyber Petite Angels got hit. That means Cyber Angels now are the only deck in the game that have 3 semi-limited cards in the same deck. Wow. And they're not 3 supporting cards. They're not 3 Tekkens. They're 3 cards that actually go in the deck. Cyber Petite Angel, Cyber Angel Dakini, and Machine Angel Ritual all have been semi-limited. Nani! Which means you can only run 2 of the 3. Ever. You cannot run 1 of each of those cards in your deck. You cannot do it. So, wow. 1 card has to take the bench. Pulse Mines also got hit. That's crazy. Gear Gaia, rip. The thing about this, though, is Pulse Mines so far, besides maybe Econ, is the only card that's really being hit in the Gear Guys right now. So they could actually just go in and run 2 of these and just not run the Econs. But that's also still pretty huge for them. So I don't know. We'll see. And, of course, we already talked about Destiny Hero Celestial being hit. And so you have to pick and choose. Do you want to run Econs and Celestial, 1 of each, or do you want to run 2 Celestial? Which, just like the Amazonas situation, you're probably going to run 2 Celestials and no Econ. So that's a big hit. And no longer on the list is Red Eye Spirit, which I've been saying forever. Why is this card even on the list ever? Why was it ever on the list? Because they hit the only card that made it broken, and that was Chance Vigilance. So there was no reason for this card to even be on the list if you nerfed Chance Vig. So he is back, baby. Somewhat back. We'll see. So anyways, guys, that is the huge changes in the game. The meta has just been shifted. Mountains have been moved. Landscapes have been flattened. And I don't even know. I don't even know at this point. The game took a huge turn. We took a 180 from yesterday till today. The game is just completely insane. The whole Duel Links community is in a flutter. Everybody is running around. Everybody's throwing their opinions left and right. Everybody's angry or happy. I mean, the emotions were running wild. The game, it just took a huge change. Konami was bold with these changes. I applaud them for that, and I don't applaud them for much often. If you guys know, if you've been on the channel, I've ranted and complained more about this game than probably any other YouTuber on a consistent basis. And now I have to say, though, I have to applaud Konami for some of these changes. Now, what are some of the bad things that happened from all this? Well, for one, spellbooks are now OP. Spellbook players just are smiling from ear to ear because they were not touched at all. Should they have been touched? Absolutely. Fate should have been hit. Fate should have been semi-limited at least, and so Grass is Greener should have been hit as well. Grass is Greener should have been semi-limited, and so should Spellbook of Fate. Both of those should have been hit. Neither one were hit, and that's unfortunate, especially with the new leaked structure deck that's coming. That'll probably make that deck even better because now they're going to be getting some Silent Magician support to put into that deck. I mean, I don't know if Konami thinks that structure deck was going to be the nerf that Spellbooks needed. It's not going to be because Spellbook users are going to be using it against the rest of the meta. The only problem they'll have is a mirror match. Really, that's going to be their only threat right now. So yeah, Spellbook players are actually happy. And for me personally, I just put 5k more gems into the new mini box to get 3 Blue Boy. So at least that's good for me, I guess, personally. But I know it's not going to be good for a lot of people. So I can't really take any kind of gratitude in that. Yeah, wow, the game is just, wow. That was the biggest limited list they've ever put into play. Those skill changes some of them are freaking huge. Wow. So I don't know. We'll see where the game goes from this point. But wow, this is a big change. This might be the biggest change we've ever had in Duel Links ever. Like they literally just came in, gutted the free-to-play meta. Yes, the free-to-play meta is just completely gutted. I think the only free-to-play meta that survived for the most part is Hazy. Hazy of all decks somehow keeps just skipping by and surviving. And Hazy might actually be coming back because of the current meta changes. So for those of you who invested a lot in making the Hazy deck, you're still good. You're still in the clear. But a lot of you that made the other decks, man, you took a hit, and I am sorry for that. But some of these things needed to happen. And I also predicted that since Konami wasn't really making much money off these free-to-play metas, and they were giving us a lot of gems, something big was happening. And here it is. They completely gutted the meta and changed it, hopefully for the better or worse. We'll see in the future. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe, become an Impact Player today. Join us in the Discord below as always, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one. Make sure you guys comment below what you guys think about all these changes. Until then, peace.